Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Subletts. Missouri, Texas. You love me, you believe me, you cherish me. Hi, everybody. It's just me today. Welcome to Meet the Sublet. I am Aqua or Bay, whoever it is you call me. It's cool. Candace actually has a meeting today, so I'm all by my lonesome. But that's okay. I just get to enjoy my beauty for a while. Well, today's topic is Sister Wives. And obviously, this was a topic that I wanted to discuss with her because I was really interested in her point of view. So, since she's not here, maybe we'll do a follow up show in the future. So, before I say my little spiel on Sister Wives, I'll start with my weekly highlight because actually, I don't think I have one now that I think about it. Actually, yes, I do. For those who saw my status last week about our broken air conditioner, a little backstory about that. Our AC broke a month ago. And after a plethora of work orders and calls and going to the office and emails and this and that, they finally replaced our unit today. So I came home from work to a crisp, cold apartment, and it was so great. So I'm very glad that they finally got that put together. Now we just got to figure out who's going to pay this super high electric bill because it won't be me. So yeah, I think that's gonna be my highlight because definitely going a whole month without AC and it being like 85 to 90 degrees every day in our apartment, it's been hell, literally. So I'm super glad that that is done and we can have some cold air for the summer because everybody knows how hot it get in Texas and that heat is no joke. Considering I walk to work every day just about having to walk in the heat and then walk home in the heat and then come home and sit in the heat. Yeah, no, that wasn't gonna fly. And I finally made that post on Facebook because I was super tired of the runaround they were giving us. I've been pretty quiet about it for a month, other than just trying to deal with it with my apartments. And I think I may have told one or two people like at work or whatever, and they were like, "You need to call this person, and you need to call this person." I really was just trying to give them a chance to like figure it out, but I think the issue was the person that kept coming to our apartment. He didn't really know what he was doing. And so he kept giving me the same answer every time he would come back, and I kept telling him, "No, it's broken. Like you need to do something. Like it's broken." And so they finally sent the maintenance supervisor guy, and he realized what the problem was, and so he sent someone else to fix it, which was great. They were all really nice though. Like they didn't give us like a hard time. I just don't think the person that they had initially knew what he was doing and they kept sending him back. So I think that's where the problem was to begin with. There was some there was a lack of knowledge there. I don't think he's an AC guy. And so now that we finally have a new air conditioner, it's so much better. I think I'm ready for summer now. I'm not ready for the heat, but I think I can handle the heat now that we have AC. So that's definitely my highlight. And I'm sure whenever Candace comes home from her meeting, that's probably going to be her highlight as well, because she's been complaining about it much more than I have. Like every time she called the office, she's like, "We're fat. We can't be in the heat." And I'm like, "Whoa, watch who you calling fat. I'm not fat." But I totally understand. She was trying to get a point across, and I think that point was made. So yeah. Anyway, so tonight's topic is sister wives. Why did I choose Sister Wives? No, it's not about the TLC TV show Sister Wives, because I realized when you Google Sister Wives, that's pretty much all that comes up now is the TV show. And is I think it's cool that they have a TV show. Do I think everyone's dynamic is like theirs? No. Have I watched it? No, not really. I think I've seen one or two episodes, and to be honest, it just wasn't really something that piqued my interest, I guess. I feel like some things are overhyped for TV instead of just giving the reality of what things are. And so I definitely wanted to touch on this topic specifically because Candace and I are in an open marriage. And because we're in an open marriage, people always assume different things. So this was one of the things that I kind of wanted to touch on. To be clear, to be a sister wife, that does not mean that every party involved in that relationship is sexually involved, if that makes sense. A lot of times, to be honest, the person that's in the middle, whether it be, you know, a husband or in me and Candace's case, whether it be one of us. So if I was dating another person, I would be in the middle. If she was dating another person, she would be in the middle. But that doesn't mean that all three of us would necessarily be intimate in a sexual way. Could we build a life together? Could we live in the same house, contribute to bills and that kind of things? Yes. Um, so for us, if Candace was to date a man, or we'll go with a guy, if she was dating a guy, I would be considered a sister wife. I would be considered more of a sister to him, and obviously a wife to her, because I don't date men. I don't have sexual relations with men. I don't do anything sexually with men. So that would not be an aspect of the relationship that I would be a part of. But I would obviously be a part of everything else. And then in turn, if I'm dating a woman, Candace could choose. I mean, if it's someone that she and they have chemistry and they chose to be intimate, or whatever, that's different. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she would be, just because I'm dating another woman. Because obviously our taste is different. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that every time I date a woman or whatever, that she will necessarily be sexually involved with her either. But I think it's commonly misconstrued that when there are sister wives or polygamous relationships, that all three parties are sexually involved, and that's not the case all the time. I really just think it depends on the couple. I see a lot of times on TikTok there are a lot of thruples now on TikTok, which is awesome. I love it. I love that people are being more open about their lifestyles and the things that are normal to them. So I think it's just important to not categorize everyone. Y'all, I look like I've been eating chicken, and really it's just lip gloss because my lips was real dry. Don't judge me. But I think it's important to really just kind of familiarize yourself with different lifestyles. It may not be a lifestyle for you, but you may run across someone that you are interested in that may be interested in that lifestyle. And so to have a little bit of knowledge about it is always important. So that way you don't offend anyone, or, you don't go into things blindly or make assumptions based on what you see on TV or social media or what people tell you. So I definitely just wanted to say that for me, I'm am I open to the sister wife lifestyle? Yes. And it has absolutely nothing to do with being sexual. It has more to do with creating a family and building together, because everyone knows three incomes are always better than two. But just to have that dynamic to where it's three people building together, I think that's awesome. I think that when there is more than two people in a relationship, I think the level of stress is a little different. You get to spread out things a little more amongst people, so you don't feel like you're always wearing the weight of the world on your shoulders. I know for me and Candace, our marriage, that's the only thing that I can refer to. I would be considered more of the wifely one, and she would be considered more of the husband because she has a lot of husband characteristics. But there are a lot of things that I do that would be deemed the wife role, I guess. And obviously, people who have been married, people who have been in relationships, committed relationships, lived with someone, that kind of thing. You know what, hey, cut up. You know what kind of stress that is, having to work a full-time job. If you have kids, you're taking care of kids. You have to make sure dinner is ready. You're doing laundry, you're cleaning, you're doing all these different things that the person that you're with may not be doing because they're doing other things. So I think with more than one person in a relationship, let me say more than two people, you can spread out those responsibilities a little more, which kind of frees up time, frees up mental space, it frees up emotions, it frees up a lot of different things that a lot of people feel like, oh, because it's me and my other person that I'm with, like two people are required to be everything for each other, and that's not realistic. So I think honestly, this this marriage, because this is my second marriage for those who don't know, this marriage has been the first that was open. It's the first that we've had the option to date outside of one another if we choose to. And I think just having the ability to do that, the ability to communicate about that, it has been such a stress reliever for me personally. I don't feel like I have so much pressure to be this perfect spouse, or that I have to, do all these things, check all these boxes. I don't feel like I have to be um, Candace's entire world. I feel like I can be me. I feel like I can do the things that I know that I'm capable of doing, that. I don't have to stretch myself thin. I don't have to do any extra things. And it's not even to say, oh, because we have an open marriage. I really think it's all about communication. I really think that's what it comes down to. The communication for us is a little different because we are able to talk about anything and everything. Like if she finds someone attractive, if she sees a guy that she's attracted to, we can talk about that. And it's not like oh my God, you can't be looking at him because we're married, whatever. It's not like that. So I think just having that openness doesn't even necessarily mean there has to be an extra person there, because honestly, I don't think we've dated in a long time, separately or together. We haven't dated in quite a while. But just having that space where we can be ourselves and we're not judging one another and we're not, trying to keep each other inside this box, it definitely makes our relationship that much better. And so, tying it back to Sister Wives, I think if we were to ever actually have a sister wife, like a serious sister wife, I don't think she would be considered a sister wife. I think she would just be considered a wife, because on that sister aspect, I mean, I won't speak for Candace because I don't know. I know that we aren't attracted to the same people. So if we come across a person we're both attracted to, that's great. But on the flip side, if it's the other way around, if we're able to be cordial, if we're able to, establish a friendship, we're able to still build and do the things that we want to do, regardless of what the level of intimacy is, I think it'll be great. Excuse me. But whew, y'all, my AC just kicked off and it's hot in here. These lights got me. I'm trying not to sweat. I ain't bring no napkins, no nothing. But so yeah, that's just my little 2 cents on Sister Wife. I think a lot of people hear about our dynamic and they assume one way or another that if we are with another person, that it's all parties involved and that kind of thing. So I just wanted to shed a little light on what a sister wife actually is. That does not mean that all three people are together. I mean, they're together to a sense, I guess, whatever those boundaries are for that couple. I know for us, beginning this whole open relationship, open marriage thing, it was definitely a transition. It was hard in the sense of having to understand where jealousy stemmed from and how to overcome that. Because I know for me, I don't say I won't say I was jealous. I wasn't jealous that she was dating men. I just had to understand that just because she may date a man or whatever, that didn't take away from who I am or what I meant in the relationship. It didn't devalue me as a person and everything that I bring to the table. She just likes what she likes, in the same terms I like what I like. So having to just understand that, and really what it came really it just came with time and communicating about it. The more we talked about it, the easier it was. So that way, if she went out of town or she whatever, went and spent the weekend with this person or whatever she did, like, it was, in the beginning it was hard because I'm like, is she gonna come home to me? Is she gonna, is she telling this person she loves them? Is she over there doing things she doesn't do here? But having to get past that and just, like, I know this is home. She'll always come home to me. She loves me regardless. But that's 5 years in. So getting to that point where I was able to get over, I guess, my own insecurities, because it had nothing to do with her. And I couldn't project the way that I was feeling onto her because I was insecure. So I definitely think that communication is key. I will always say that no matter what the situation is, communication is key. Um, and being honest, definitely being honest with the person that you're with. I don't think you should hide who you are or what you like or what you want, because all of those are important in any relationship. And if you try to hide yourself or the things you like or the things you want, eventually it's going to come out in a way that you can't control. Like, people cheat, people get angry, people kill one another, people do all these different things, hiding who they are, and because they feel like they can't be accepted, or they're not going to be loved if they're this way, or the person they really want to be with isn't going to want to be with them if they know the truth. But do you really love a person if you can't love them for who they are? That doesn't mean that their lifestyle is for you, and that's okay. No one should force you into doing things that you don't want to do. But on the same side, like, how happy is a person hiding in a relationship because they're in love with this person, but they're scared they're going to lose this person to be who they really want to be? Everyone's happiness matters, and sometimes that just means that your happiness won't be together, and that's okay. It might suck in the beginning, but in the long run, if everyone is happy, everyone is healthy, everyone is safe, I think that's what's most important. And I think for me, what it really came down to, after my first marriage, I went through the whole, my first wife went through, like, this whole identity thing, and she cheated and she hid this and that. So when I got with Candace, I did not want the same thing. And I wanted to be very honest about that. Like, whoever you are, whatever you like, whatever you don't like, whatever you want, we should be able to discuss those things, and we should be able to find a common ground together. And maybe some things will work and some things won't, but the only way we'll be able to figure that out is if we figure it out together and we talk about it. A lot of people don't understand how we work so well, because obviously I'm a lesbian and she's bisexual. And in the LGBTQIA community, that's not very common. A lot of lesbians refuse to date or let alone marry a bisexual woman because they fear that they'll cheat with men. They fear that they'll leave them for a man. They fear all of these different things. But guess what? That's really insecurity. And it really comes down to communication. Like, that's it. Like, a person is who they're going to be. Now, whether you choose to listen, that's completely different. You can't expect a person to change who they are for you and then things are going to be good. Like, that's, if a person's not being themselves, how happy can they really be? Like, I don't want her to be a person for me. I don't want her to change who she is for me. I love her exactly the way she is. And I tell that to everyone who asks about our dynamic and how our marriage works. I knew that she was bisexual when we got together. That we had a very long 2 hour conversation about it before we even, did anything, went anywhere, went on any dates or anything like that. We really had a conversation. We sat down, we talked about a lot of things that were going on with us at that moment, a lot of things that we had gone through. And what it really came down to was the level of respect that we have for one another, and being able to keep communication open. It's hard sometimes, especially with our age gap. Sometimes our level of understanding is a little different. But most of the times, if we talk about it more than once, typically we usually can find some common ground once we get past the initial emotions of being women together, because we both have it where we argue, we have it where we get angry or whatever, but we always come back when we're level headed and we're able to just talk about things. So, sister wives, it's not always what you think it is. It's not always about sex. It's not always what social media or television portrays it to be. So, yeah, that's my little spill on that. We actually will be having a special guest a little later. Her name is Sharon. And to be honest, I'm really interested to hear what it is she does. She messaged me and she was going to be telling us about her business, and which I believe she still is, but she wanted to touch on mental health a little bit. So I'm definitely excited to see what it is she's going to be speaking about, because everyone knows we touch on mental health pretty heavy on our show. Mental health is always important. We are always advocates of getting the help you need, doing the work, healing. That's those are the most important things. I actually was going to have another guest on the show today, but definitely she thought the show was in a couple of days and not today, so she was a little unprepared for it. So hopefully I can have her on the show on a future date, because I really love what she does. I don't want to tell her story too much because I really want her to tell it herself, but she does memorial things for people who have lost a loved one, and it really honors her daughter that she lost some years back. And so everything she does with love, and I really wanted her to be on here today, but that's okay. She can have a future show, and that's cool. So I'm gonna see if our guest is going to come on. Y'all, it's so weird being on here by myself. Every time I have to do a show alone, I just feel like I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to. I'd be lost. I really realized that Candace does most of the talking because she is a talker. See if we can get her on. While we wait, we're going to have a quick commercial break. I'll be right back. Hey,
Hello, hello.
how are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
I'm so excited that you're on the show today. I cannot wait to hear all the things that you talk about. So, introduce yourself and tell our audience who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Sharon Moreno. I'm a bit of an entrepreneur. I have done a lot of different things in my time, and I'm heading in a new direction, and that's why I mentioned talking about mental health because I'm working on a project, and I figured I can tie in the other things that I do into that. So that's what we're gonna, what I'll touch on today.
Okay, cool. Okay. I'm excited to hear about it. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, as I said, last month was Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're a day late, but I figured I could still tag in onto that. My dog is barking or growling over here. um, about 9 years ago, I was diagnosed as bipolar, and at 51 years old, that's kind of hard to accept, that
Yeah.
you've lived your whole life this time, and now they're putting this label on you and what it entails. Eventually, when I looked back at my life, a lot of things made sense. When I looked at the diagnosis and I looked at my life, and I said, oh, not everybody feels like this and not everybody does that. So I've spent the last few years going through the process of, trying to, it doesn't go away. You probably know many people that are bipolar, and
Mhm.
but it's possible to be able to live with it and be productive and be balanced and live your life.
Mhm.
So the project that I'm looking at starting right now, I'm in the beginning stages, is I'm going to be creating a course, and the course is geared towards women who are recently diagnosed as bipolar later in life to learn to accept the diagnosis and to live a more balanced and productive life. And what I believe that in my experiences, I've had, a lot of, there's been challenges, but there's a lot of growth. And, if it's much easier, if you're diagnosed with this, to talk to somebody that's been through it already and kind of has gone through the steps to hold your hand and take you through and say, hey, this is what I've learned. And maybe these are some of the tools that I've used to get me, to be where I want to be.
Mhm.
So that's basically, I'm not totally clear on the format, whether it be in a workshop or a course, or I'm working out the details.
Mhm.
But that's where I'm headed, and um, I'm trying to tie the other things in my life under that umbrella. So I'll just touch a second, and then I'll break into them later. But what one of the things that I'm going to do with this course is offer a bit of a toolbox, tools for people. What are some coping skills? What are some things that have worked? What are some things that haven't worked? So that you don't have to go through that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So uh and then tying that into the businesses that I'm doing. The two businesses that I'm with are doTERRA, which is essential oils, and Tastefully Simple, which has to do with food. And you say, well, what do those have to do with mental health? Well, I find a way to mix it all together here. Um, uh, Eating healthy is part of self-care, and self-care is a big component in dealing with mental health. Taking care of yourself, taking that time to listen to yourself, to eat right, to exercise, to it's a whole picture. It's not just one part of you.
Yeah.
Even we're calling it mental health, but it's really your whole picture. Your
Mhm.
spiritual self, your whole self.
Right.
And so eating right is you know a part of that. And where and eating right doesn't have to be bland. So I'm with a company called Tastefully Simple, that we have things to make it taste better. um, and I'm going to talk a little. I'll go into the essential oils first,
Okay.
because those, I don't know that everybody is totally familiar with and what they do. A lot of people think that just essential oils are good for the smell. They make perfumes or things like that. But essential oils are made from plants, and they are designed to not only smell good, but to have healing type purposes. I mean, they're not
Kind
gonna,
of like peppermint oil, right? Don't people use peppermint oil for like
for
headache?
headaches,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
You've heard of lavender for sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So they're not just just to smell, to something to smell the room nicely, as an air freshener, which
Mhm.
they can be used as well. But if there's, we have a lot of different types of uh oils, so they're for all different, physical and mental challenges. So a couple of the things, I was talking with someone that I know, that I get my information from with the oils, and she was talking like about that. It's about finding worth, who you are. The oils and everything else are just a complement to that, and the products that we sell are a little bit more than just oils. We have what's called the Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is vitamins. It's a set of 3 different types of vitamins, and it's basically like you're working from the inside out.
Okay.
If you're taking the vitamins, if you're getting what you need, if you're eating correctly, you work on the inside. Then you can, that does come to the outside. So, I personally take them, have been taking them for about 4 years that I've been with doTERRA, and they give me energy that, like I'm balanced, and I'm not going to say that, one of the things that people, do with is medication. And I'll just touch on that for 1 second. I do believe in medication, and I am on medication, but I do other things as well, because the pills doesn't fix you.
Right.
You have to work on your whole person, and not just depend on a pill. So the tools, the oils we have, they come in little bottles like this.
Okay.
Seen them, and the company like I said, is what is called doTERRA, and this one actually is called Balance. Guess what that does? So we have a few different mood type oils. We have this one called Balance. We have one called Serenity, which is kind of like, it has lavender and stuff in it. That's more for calming, anxiety and things like that. The Adaptive and Wild Orange are more for energy. Wild Orange is it smells great, and it's uplifting, and it kind of like gives you the and the way that oils work, there's 3 different ways that they can work. You can just, the first is aromatically. You just open it up and take a sniff. Wish you could smell
it. I bet it smells good. I'm a smeller. So, like, I always smell things, so I bet it smells good.
Yeah. So they work, by through the nose. You can smell them. You can also put them in a diffuser, and then they go in the air, so that way you get them more than just one little sniff. They can go continue, for hours, so that you have it going in the air. They also you can put them on your skin. You could sometimes put them on the bottom of your feet, on your pulse points, as you just mentioned. Peppermint is good if you put it on your temples for headaches. And the third way is ingesting. Not all oils can be taken internally.
That's good to
most
know.
Of ours
don't go out just trying to eat oils, y'all.
yeah. They're not, but ours, a lot of ours can be taken internally, especially like the lemon, the orange, and those can even just, you can put for cleansing. You can put a couple drops of lemon in your water, and or in your food as you're preparing. So that way you get the health benefits, as well as it just goes when you're eating. So those are the 3 ways that you can take advantage of the oils.
See, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that certain essential oils that you could actually mix into your food and things like that.
Yes.
So that's something new I learned today.
I can't speak for all companies, because I've heard that some cannot be taken internally. So I just know that these can.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't know any of them at all could.
Yes,
so it's still new.
Yeah, but like I said, the orange or the yellow or the lemon are great to go in the food. Even oregano oil that has a lot of great healing properties, and it's very, 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 very strong. So it takes just like 1 drop.
Good to know. I'm a foodie, so I'm always trying different things. So I definitely will. I'm interested to see what I could do with those oils, actually.
Yeah. So what I usually do is I sit down with someone, and just have a conversation about what their lifestyle is, what they're looking to accomplish from the oils, and that way I can, steer them in the right direction as to what's gonna, work best for them, and we put together something for them, and you go from there.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I deal with the oils.
Cool. Okay.
So now you said you're a foodie, so that takes you into my next.
I know. I think that was what piqued my interest at first, and then when I saw there was two, I was like, okay.
Yes. Well, yeah, and like I said, I found a way to put it all together. It fits. Have you heard of Tasty Simple?
No.
Oh, I love hearing that because the company is around since 1995. June is their birthday month, so they're 27 years old.
Okay.
And we make spices and easy mixes that are that's called Tastefully Simple because it tastes good and it is so easy. One of our signature products is our beer bread. And all you do is take a can of beer or a bottle of beer, you pour it in the mix, you mix it up, put a little bit of melted butter and put it in the oven. And in 45 minutes, you have bread.
Wow.
That's how most of our mixes are. Even our cakes, you take a cup of water, you put it in there, some melted butter, and then in 45 minutes, you have a cake. I mean, it's literally so simple. Our two of our main, two or three of our biggest sellers, one is called garlic, one is called onion, and the other one is spinach and herb. And those are they're staples in my house. I put them in everything. But they also come, like what I do a lot of times for local people is we do tasting parties, either in my house or if someone hosts one, they get free products from doing it. So and I do that online as well, but they can't taste, it's more just an online thing. But in person, you get a little kit and it tells you what the recipes and what to do and gives you samples and you put it together and everybody gets to taste it. And the garlic and the spinach and herb, all you do is take that with some sour cream and mayonnaise, mix it up, and you have a dip. And there you go. And that works with a few of our different our seasonings. You just mix it in there, and that's usually what's done in the parties, so that it's easy to taste.
Oh yeah,
and people love it. I mean, I have been with a lot of different companies in my time. I was originally the Tupperware lady. I did that. That was one of my first. I had the van and did the whole Tupperware thing. But this company is well received. People know it. And I've done events like vendor events, and people come up, oh, I was looking for you. Oh, I need this. I'm out of this, So it's really nice to be with a company that people know, people like, people look for, and and they come back because it's consumable, and then they need it. So the reason I'm touching on this a little bit is it also is a business that can be shared, and there's the cost to get started would only be we have a couple of different kits that are one's $50 and one's $100, and then you could do the same thing and market that the company.
I was going to ask you, is that because you're on the East Coast, right?
I am.
Is that more of an East Coast thing? Because I mean, I'm from Texas. I've never heard of it, but it sounds interesting.
No, it's not an East Coast thing. It's all over.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really surprised that you've never heard it, because I mean, I do find there are people that come up to my table that never, they have no idea. And then there's others that come up and say, oh, I want this. And they just, that's what I was looking for. I'm good, So now what we do have, I have a couple of these books here with me. We have little kits that come together that you can purchase. Now, this one is our Grill Master kit. It comes with all the products that you need, all the recipes that you need, and and it gives you a shopping list of what you need to buy to make these things. So we've got the Grill Master kit. We've got the cutting carbs kit for those that want to work on something healthy, and so again, we also have a 14-day reset, so that if you're trying to clean out and get to another point, we have the reset program. And then we also, this one is the air fryer kit.
I need that. I don't know what to make in my air fryer. Every time I say I'm going to use my air fryer, I just kind of look at it and be like, next time.
Well, it's a whole little book here of recipes, and it and it tells you what's in them, how to make it, and what other products you need. So those are just some of the kits that we have. You know, and of course, not everything is sold in a kit. You can buy anything individually.
Mhm.
But yeah, everybody knows about their, you know, you got to try the beer bread, you know, because like I
You
said,
know, I don't even, I don't like beer, but
I don't drink beer.
I think I would try it just
I
because
don't
it's
drink
so good.
beer, and it doesn't taste anything like beer. But
Oh, good to
just
know.
no, it doesn't taste like beer. But the good thing about it is that if you absolutely don't want to put beer in there, you can also put like sparkling water or a soda, or and
Hmm.
then if you wanted to get fancy with it, see, that's why it's called simple, because it's good for people that don't like to cook, because it's like this, boom, and it's done. But it's good for people that like to cook, because if you want to experiment and do different things, like if you wanted to make a garlic bread, you add some of the garlic in there. If you wanted to make it sweet, you put the cinnamon, you put, you know, there's different, and we have a
Different things.
whole bunch of recipes. That the site is full of recipes of what to do with all the different things that we have. You know, you want to make it, it's there. And if not, somebody else will come up with it, you know. It's there's a lot of recipes on the site, so
Oh
that's been
wow.
that's
Okay.
really good. That's really
That's
been a really good
awesome.
thing. Yeah, so those are basically, you know, getting back to the how I started, though, was with the you know, with the mental health. These are both areas that are under the umbrella of,
Hmm.
you know, your whole, you know, like, it's not necessarily, I wouldn't want to call it real total just mental health. It's holistic health. It's
Yeah, but
your
that's
whole self.
important though, because I think a lot of people don't realize how important everything else is to your mental health. Like you just have to. It's more than just seeing a therapist and working on healing from traumas. It's eating right. It's exercise. It's getting the proper amount of sleep. It's a lot of different things that really have to do with how well you're doing. Like if you haven't showered in a week, obviously that has to do with self-care, but then you have to look at, well, why? Like what's going on around you that's keeping you from doing
Right.
the things that you would normally do. So I totally agree how eating right and taking care of your inner so your outer reflects that it's just as important, and it does all tie together.
Yes, yeah, yes. We're a whole package. We're not just, you know, broken into different
Yeah.
parts, you know. So you know, that's kind of how I see it, to put everything, you know, in one basket. And I also actually, I'll since, you know, there's one other thing that I work on.
Go
Well,
ahead.
one, there's a lot of things that I do, but there's something else. I like to do vendor events where you actually get out and meet people and talk about the things that you do. And I've done them for Tastefully Simple, but I do another thing with what's called angel readings, angel card readings. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
Okay, I have like a bunch of different kinds, but this is just one thing, and it's a box of cards,
Hmm.
and they have different messages, and there's a book. It comes with a book that corresponds with each of the cards, so you
Hmm.
could, you know, for example, if we just, you know, mixed them up and just picked, we'll pick one for tonight and see what the message is. Um, and it has a message on the card, and then it has a corresponding message in the book. And then, you know, if you tune in, you know, you sometimes may get a little bit more information because they kind of talk to you a little bit. So
Hmm.
I don't know how you feel about angels, but angels are in any religion. So
Yeah.
um, I feel comfortable talking.
I believe it wholeheartedly. I believe that I'm surrounded by angels. I believe that I am very covered and protected. So yeah.
And again, this falls into that whole self, the spiritual
Hmm.
self, the spiritual side. So I'm going to pick a card for today, and we'll see what the angels have to say for us. And I'll read the message.
Okay.
This one says, let me see where, if it's there. It says hermit, and it says retreat and recharge. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see?
Hmm.
Yeah. So you then come over to the book. Let's see if I can find it, because now it's going to be hard to find, right? Some books, well, I have a little problem with buying too many cards. I get obsessed. I have to have like every card, and so some of them have different ways that they're here we go, page 38, way that they're organized and how you find them. Sometimes they're just in alphabetical order, and then other times they're by categories and different things. So you got to look at each one differently. Okay, so the message says, take time to rest and recuperate in order to continue your growth. Benefit from the information that will come directly from your heart space. The Hermit card is one of solitude and meditation, and it represents your capacity to go within and arrive at the cave of your heart. Many of the answers to your problems lie within, and if you don't take the time to connect with yourself and feel comfortable alone, you won't be able to hear the messages that are rising up inside you. The cross-legged meditation position of the cave-dwelling sadhu on the card is an invitation to harness the power of your meditation practice. The Sri Yantra symbol behind him represents the union of masculine and feminine energies, hence support from the Mother, Father, God. You have been working hard and giving your all to your current situation, and it may become draining and detrimental to your development unless you retreat and recharge your energies. So you are being guided to take a step back at this time. If you are working on bringing something together, your over-involvement could impede the process, so retreat and breathe. If you have something to say or do that could have a large impact on your life, spend some time in deep thought, even contemplation, before moving forward. Often when we rush in, we don't see how destructive our actions can be. So meditate and listen to your soul's wisdom before proceeding further. So a lot of times what we do is we'll ask a question, and I mean, I just did a general one for, just a general look. But when I do a reading for someone, I do sometimes one card, sometimes the 2 or 3 cards, different spreads. But basically that message to me tells me that that's the other part of self-care is looking within, meditating, and there gives me another tool to put in the toolbox.
Yeah. So how did you get into doing angel reading?
Well, my mother was a massage therapist and Reiki master, and did all this kind of stuff back in the 70s before it was cool. So I grew up with that kind of stuff that people now are just learning about and saying it's new age, and that's not new. I grew up with it.
Right.
And so it kind of didn't really start till after my mom passed, but she's been gone 20 years now. So that's about how long I got interested in the cards and started collecting them and doing work with them, and now I'm starting to I've got a gig where I'm going to be doing readings at an event, and so that's my first, and everything seems to be just falling into place in this, in this thing, and it's gearing towards coaching, and one-on-one is one of the things that's under the umbrella, but I haven't got to that part yet. I'm just kind of, getting things going.
But that's really awesome, though, that you're going to be able to help people on their journey. I'm sure that being diagnosed with bipolar so late in life, that probably like flipped your world upside down, and you were like, I was actually my wife and I were watching, I think it's called Love on the Spectrum. It's a series on Netflix about people that are on the autistic spectrum, and they're trying to find love and different things. And so they have a season for the US that just came out a couple of weeks ago, and there's a guy on there who was diagnosed. Um, I think he was about in his 50s when he was diagnosed. And so he grew up like he was different. People teased him. He was married for, so long, but like obviously in the end it didn't work. So it just having to learn that little bit about himself so late in life, he kind of was like, oh, that makes sense as to why like his life went the way it was. But just trying to figure out where to go with that. How do you cope with it? How do you, learn new things about yourself that you didn't even realize was, other people were also going through. Maybe you thought it was just you. And so that's really awesome that you are trying to create something to help other people who may go through that. So
right. Yeah. There's a lot. It's out there. There's definitely a call for that more. And I mean, when you open it up, because not everybody is that open about it, because there is stigmatism about mental illness and and how it but that doesn't change the person you are. Just
Right.
because I, have brain, chemical, reactions to things, then that doesn't make me not able to live my life and be
Yeah.
successful, and and
I really think it has to do with the lack of knowledge. I don't think enough people are educated on the different mental illnesses and the different things that go into it. I think if there was more education on it, especially in school and things like that, it wouldn't be so stigmatized to the people who are who are going through these things.
right.
I know when I first started dating my wife, that was one of the first things she told me. Like I've been diagnosed with these different things, and I'm just like, okay, and some things I might not know, I've never experienced or encountered or anything like that. But teach me, like show me what am I supposed to do in these instances, or I'm gonna research on my own and try to figure it out. Because at the end of the day, I want her to be comfortable, knowing that I'm going to love her regardless of whatever diagnosis she has, whatever medications she has to take, or therapy, or we can go to therapy together. Like
Well, just like you have to take medication for high blood pressure or diabetes.
Mhm.
If you have to, you just kind of add one to the mix, if that's what's going to take
Yeah,
to be able to manage your life.
yeah.
So, and it's good that she has someone that is open enough to be able to encompass that, and to
Mhm.
embrace her for who she is, without
Yeah.
you know.
I think that's really important. Like, I just want to be a support to her because I know that it can't always be
Well,
easy.
and it can affect relationships. And when I have
Mhm.
looked, back in my life, I've done some, and then you have to like kind of fix it. And because, there have been times, with the ups
Mhm.
and the downs, and,
Yeah.
it does affect things. But, you know, I'm happy to say that, for quite a few years now, I've been pretty stable and you know, not off the walls.
Well, that's awesome. And I mean, I bet it definitely has helped that now like, this is what I have, this is what I need to do, and this is how I can keep myself stable. So that way, all the things you went through before, knowing like maybe you don't repeat those cycles. Because I know someone told me like it's like a cycle, like you have like ups and downs. So maybe you can just curve some of those and kind of change them up. So
Well,
create your own.
what kind of tends to go with me is that when I'm good, I'm a high achiever. I'm a go getter. That's just my personality.
Mhm.
So when I'm good, I want to do everything, and I go 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 go, because I know that there are going to be down times that come, and I'm not going to want to do anything. So
Yeah,
I make sure that my life, I can always reschedule. I could always, it's flexible, and I'm able to live the way I want to live, doing
yeah.
what I do, and not have to be, at a, I was a teacher for 9 years. I taught Spanish to preschool to eighth grade, and I did some elementary education stuff, but it, it, when I looked back, I had a hard time with. One of the things that worked best for me is I worked Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because it was an elective, kind of,
Mhm.
and so I worked Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So no matter how much I would get through Monday, because I knew I could go off Tuesday and not have to do anything, so
Yeah.
that worked for me, so
I think
you
there's a lot of
find
like I know for sure. I think that's probably one of the hardest things for my wife. Like working for herself, we've seen in the last year or so is really good for her mental psyche. Like not having to be in such a I won't say structured environment because she's very structured as an individual, but being able to be flexible if she needs to be, being able to do things that suit her and really benefit her is definitely been well. Like I know a lot of times like people working in 9 to 5 jobs where you have like a Monday through Friday or it's a set schedule or you can't take vacation days or whatever, call in if you need to and that kind of things. Like it's so penitentiary like.
right.
And so I know that's hard. It's hard for me. Like sometimes, like if I just don't feel like getting up to do anything, like I don't want to have to go to this job that I'm required to go to. Like who says that these jobs or these corporations or whatever get to determine how I'm spending my time and my day? If I don't feel like it, I just don't feel like it. And it sucks that so many people have to rely on their jobs to make
Exactly.
ends meet to live, and that really takes a toll on people's mental.
Exactly.
So really
Totally.
creating a space where you can work for yourself, or do community work, if you enjoy giving back to people, just really creating something for yourself that really benefits you. I think that's probably most important. So it's awesome that you're tying what you already do into what you're trying to do to make it all,
Yeah,
go together. So that's really cool.
thank you. Yeah, it's taken me a little while to get to this point, but I'm still kicking, so it's not too late, right?
I can't wait to bring you back on the show when you get your course together to talk about how your course is.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'd be happy.
So where can people find out more information about doTERRA and Tastefully Simple?
Um, I have websites. I don't have anything written or printed that I could show you. The I don't know if you could put something up, but I have my website for doTERRA is mydoterra.com/Sharon A. Moreno. So it's just my name at the end of mydoterra.com. And the Tastefully Simple is tastefullysimple.com/ that one has web/S Moreno1. So that will take you to the website, and you can see the different products and the recipes, and there's also actually there's recipes and information on the oils. Oh my God, there's so much information. So like if you have a particular ailment that you wanted to know what oil would be good for it, you can look that up, and each oil tells you what they're good for and how it works, and and things like that. So there's lots and lots and lots of information on both those sites.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing your knowledge and your businesses with us.
And thank you for having me.
Okay, awesome. Talk to you later.
Bye.
That was super awesome, you guys. I wasn't sure what was going to come. I wasn't sure what she was going to say, but that's really awesome that she's trying to take what she has encountered in her life and her diagnosis with bipolar and help others. So I think that's really awesome. But guess what? It is almost 8 o'clock, and since I'm by myself, I get the luxury of not having to go all the way to 8 o'clock because I'm hungry. So next week's show, I have no idea what the topic is because I haven't thought that far. I really have just been trying to get my life together with the lack of air conditioning. And now that that is in a good place, I feel like I can get back on track and do the things that I need to do. So I guess next week's topic is going to be a surprise. Maybe I'll let Candace pick it because she picked the one supposedly for this week and then I changed it. So maybe I'll just let her pick it next week and stick to it. We'll see. I don't know. But anyway, see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.